A boy with a dream. The sun was hot in the small village of Mvezo in South Africa. A young boy ran, barefoot through the fields. His name was Nelson Mandela, but later the world would call him Nelson Mandela. "Come home, Nelson," his mother called. Nelson stopped. He looked at the sky. The clouds moved slowly. He was just a boy, but he felt something strong inside him. "I want to do something important one day," he whispered to himself. At school, his teacher gave him the name Nelson. She said, "In English class, you need an English name." Nelson did not understand why, but he accepted it. Learning about the world. Nelson was a good student. He loved to read and listen. One day his father died. Nelson was very sad, but his mother told him, "Be strong, my son. You must learn. You must grow." Nelson moved to another village to live with a chief. There he saw many traditions. He learned about leadership. He saw how men spoke in meetings, how they listened, and how they decided. "Maybe one day I can lead too," Nelson thought. The dark truth. When Nelson grew older, he went to the city of Johannesburg. There, he saw something that broke his heart. Black people and white people did not live the same. White people had good houses, good schools, and good jobs. Black people lived in small, poor areas. They could not vote. They could not choose their leaders. "Why is this happening?" Nelson asked his friend. "This is apartheid," his friend answered. "The government says black and white people must live apart. We have no power." Nelson felt anger, but also sadness. "This is not fair," he said. "We must change this." A young lawyer, Nelson studied law. He wanted to help people. With his friend Oliver Tambo, he opened the first black law office in South Africa. One day, a woman came to the office. She cried, "They want to take my house," she said. Nelson listened. He helped her. He helped many others too. But it was not enough. The laws were too strong. "How can we fight this?" Oliver asked. "We must organize. We must stand together," Nelson said. Joining the struggle, Nelson joined the African National Congress, ANC. He gave speeches. He told people, "Do not be afraid. We are equal. We have the same rights." Crowds listened. Some cheered. Others were afraid. One night, Nelson came home late. His wife, Evelyn, looked worried. "Nelson, the police will arrest you." "Why? Do you risk your life?" Nelson held her hands. "Because our children must be free. I cannot be silent." Prison or freedom? The government watched Nelson. They saw him speak, march, and lead protests. One morning, soldiers came to his house. "Nelson Mandela, you are under arrest." Nelson stood tall. He did not run. He went to prison. Years passed. Nelson was arrested many times, but he never gave up. He studied. He wrote letters. "Why don't you stop?" one prison guard asked. Nelson smiled. "Because freedom is worth more than my life." The trial. In 1964, Nelson and his friends were taken to court. The judge said they could be killed for fighting the government. The courtroom was silent. Nelson stood up. I am ready to die, he said. I have fought against white domination. I have fought against black domination. I dream of a free and democratic South Africa. People cried in the courtroom. The judge gave him life in prison. The long years. Nelson went to Robben Island, a prison, in the sea. The work was hard. He had to break stones. In the hot sun, a guard shouted, "Work faster." Nelson kept going. He whispered to himself, "Stay strong." In the small cell, he was alone. The walls were cold. The bed was hard. But in his heart, a fire burned. He wrote letters to his family. He taught other prisoners. He talked about hope. One young prisoner asked, "Do you think we will ever be free?" "Yes," Nelson said. "Not tomorrow, not next year, but one day." The world remembers. Outside the prison, people began to speak Nelson's name. "Free Nelson Mandela," crowds shouted. In South Africa, in London, in New York, years passed. 20 years, 25 years. Still, Nelson was in prison. He missed his children. He missed his wife. He missed the trees and the stars. Sometimes he felt pain, sometimes he felt weak, but then he remembered his dream. "I must not give up," he told himself. A door opens. In 1990, something changed. The world was watching South Africa. The government was under pressure. The president said, "Nelson Mandela will be free." On the day of his release, Nelson walked out of prison with a smile. Thousands of people waited outside. They shouted, they cried, they sang. A reporter asked, "Nelson, are you angry?" Nelson shook his head. "No, I am not. Free if I hate. I choose forgiveness." A new South Africa. Nelson worked hard. He spoke to black people and white people. "We must build together," he said. "We must not fight each other." In 1994, South Africa had its first free election. For the first time, black people could vote. Millions stood in line. Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. When he stood on the stage, he looked at the people. "This is not my victory," he said. "This is our victory." The man and his legacy. As president, Nelson brought peace. He asked people to forgive. He wanted schools, jobs, and homes for everyone. One day, a young boy asked him, "Mr. Mandela, how did you stay strong in prison?" Nelson smiled gently. "Hope is stronger than chains. Love is stronger than hate." When Nelson grew old, he stepped down as president. The people loved him. The world respected him. In 2013, Nelson Mandela died at the age of 95. Millions cried, but they also remembered his words. "Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the triumph over it." Nelson Mandela's life was a long walk. A walk from a small village to the prison, from the prison to the presidency, from pain to peace. He showed the world that forgiveness is stronger than revenge, and that one man's dream can change a nation. Vocabulary: apartheid, a system in South Africa where black and white people were kept apart and treated unequally. Prison, a place where people are kept when they break the law or fight the government. Forgiveness, letting go of anger and not wanting revenge. Leader, a person who guides or inspires others. Freedom, the right to live, speak, and choose without control from others.